6. Command Toga, SRS runway, auto thrust is loose. 80 knots, thrust set. 5500. 3 left. Rotate.
Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This was a struggle this weekend, y'all. This was a struggle. If you follow sports, if you follow me, it was a rough one. So I decided that I'm not going to sit around and be all sad today. I was going to hop on Microsoft Flight Sim and try out the MD-11 one more time. It did receive an update. The more I look at it, it looks like the update was really just sounds. So that was a major negative for me on the first one, on the first release. So maybe it's going to change my mind. We'll see. We are in the Continental Meatball today. This is a DC-10 livery. Obviously, I know it's not. They didn't have MD-11s, but I still think it looks pretty darn sharp. So anyway. Glad to see everybody here. Welcome in. Callie Simmer in the house. Sorry about your boys falling to the Niners. Yes, well, Callie Simmer. Appreciate you. Welcome on board. Glad to have you here. Victor Silva, A. Nick, Jeremy Harvey. Good to see you, man. I thought you had given up on this airplane. I'm surprised you're not upset. Jeremy, I'm going to give it one more shot, man. Every airplane deserves a second and third chance, maybe. And, my biggest problem, like I was saying, Jeremy, was the sounds were just so bad that it ruined the immersion out of the gate for me. So I'm hoping... Maybe that's not the case on this one. Excuse me. I'm hoping that's not the case on this one, but we're gonna find out here soon enough. Bill's Mo, great. Bill's Mafia's in the house. So another bragger here. Happy Victory Monday. Oops, my mistake. Bill's Mafia, good to see you. What's going on, man? You know, I almost did a stream in the 320 today with the Jets livery, and I was going to make the Jets like livery up, or the airplane upside down and on fire and crashing into the ground. But then I figured that probably wouldn't be a good idea, considering the internet is the internet. Tim K, good to see you. Kyle Ferris, Stephen Hayner's in the house. What's up, JP? Many more. Good to see y'all. Dougal, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well, Dougal. Hope to see you. Or actually, Dougal, are you? Oh no, never mind. Disregard. I don't think I ever messaged you back, did I? Yeah, I'll talk to you later, dude. I would ask you something. Anyway, Lauren, good to see you as well. All right, y'all. Let's get this thing on the road. Enough messing around here. Oh. Well, I don't always like to be cut off on my screen, but when I do, I don't mind when it's a Pan Am. What do we got? A 737, huh? Pan Am billboard style. I almost flew the Pan Am livery on this MD11 here, but it just was, it's not the best livery. Now, I really do like the DC-10 liveries coming to the MD11 because I do not think we're ever going to see a true DC-10 for the simulator. So having the MD-11s kind of fill in as a DC-10, I'm totally okay with it. I love it. I know Whiskey Throttles cranked out some fantastic liveries for this one. I almost flew the Martin Air Cargo one, but I didn't have any route plan for that. I wanted to stay local, stay home, because we haven't flown this airplane in so long. I want to stay in familiar territory. And I just did some flying out on the West Coast, got in yesterday. So, excuse me, I'm fighting the hiccups right now. I don't know what's going on. Every time I go live, I feel the last couple times I've been fighting the hiccups. So, anyway, good day, Scott. Good to see you, man. The 380 is dropping on Halloween. Yes, it is. And everyone's asking me, are you excited? Of course. Do we have a time yet for the 380? Does anybody know what time, or have they just come out and said it's going to be on the 31st? Because depending on what time it drops, I am off on that day, and I want to save as many of you Americans anyways as I can from watching the Jets play on primetime again. So we might just stream all day on Thursday, because it's a disgrace to the United States of America that the Jets have to be on primetime one more time on Thursday Night Football. So I wouldn't mind just doing some flying. But no time listed yet? Okay.
This livery is so dear to my heart. My mum worked for the president of Continental when they were headquartered here at LAX. Thanks for flying her. Oh, and here's a latte for you to drown your sorrows. Breathe them, boys. Cheers.
Hey.
Bank angle.
You're a huge inspiration, Captain. Started watching when I didn't have my PPA. Currently I am close to my CPF flight test. Thanks for me making love aviation more.
Hey.
Heart.
Thank you so much, both of you, for the bank angle checks. Let's get to those. Callie Simmer dropping in a $10 bank angle check. Hey, really appreciate that. I almost flew out of LAX, Callie Simmer. I was going to do LA Houston, but I couldn't figure out where I purchased my Houston scenery before, and I didn't want to buy it again. So I was just about to do LA Houston. I just came out of LA yesterday. Did a flight in and out of LA. It was a great trip, good time in LA. Almost went to a comedy club, but we just were running out of time. So, but thank you again, Callie Simmer, for that. Appreciate you. I did pick up a nice vanilla latte, so thank you for the reimbursement. Too kind of you, and thank you again for your continued support. I'll let it slide that you're a Niners fan because you are in California, so respect where respect is due. But appreciate you, Callie Simmer. And Ali Sammy, thank you so much for the $2 super chat, or bank angle check, rather. I'm glad you're enjoying the content, and that is awesome that you're continuing on getting your CPL. You're very close to your commercial pilot's license. That's very, very cool. That's awesome. Keep us updated on your progress. And again, that's I love hearing stories like that. I mean, we've got people come through the Discord, through the stream, saying, "Hey, I started this, or you inspired this," and that just makes this whole thing worth it, y'all. So I really do appreciate y'all when you come in and share that here with me. AJ Funard, I was hoping you were in bed or something, man. What are you doing over here already talking smack? AJ Funard, thanks for the $3 super chat, dude. Where them boys at? You know what, AJ? We should have done like San Francisco, Dallas as well, and just smashed it into DFW when we landed, but we don't have a DFW scenery. So look, I've been saying it. The problem is, we're not going to get into this right now. The problem with the Cowboys is Dak. I've been saying it for years. Like, after his first season, I'm kind of like, I don't buy the hype on this guy. So, and so many people bought into the hype, and I just never did. I never bought into the hype with Dak Prescott. And so ever since then, my expectations has always been capped. So getting beaten over and over again is... I'm getting used to it by now. I missed it. This is Reno, A-Rod. Let's get back to the actual stream here. Yes, we are in Reno. Reno, Nevada, and we're going to fly over to Denver. We got 1 hour and 25 minutes of air time, so it's not a long flight, not a short flight, but we're going to be hustling over there at 8.6 Mach, or as fast as we can go. And we got to figure out how to fly this airplane again. It's been a while since we've been in the MD-11. So let's go ahead and fire this puppy up. We'll get the external power and battery on. We'll go battery first. Now, let me know. I've been messing with the sim sounds because this update has been very strange to me with the sounds. I couldn't figure out like how to turn up the engine sounds, so I've been messing with the audio. Hopefully you can hear it fine. If you need to boost it even more, let me know, because even with the new update, I find that the sounds are still a little lacking. But you guys let me know. I haven't done a full flight with it yet, so we'll see here. Rastik dropping the 10 gifted memberships. Rastik, thank you so much for the 10 gifted memberships here on the channel. Appreciate the support. If you pick up a membership from Rastik, make sure you shout him out and say thank you. Very, very kind, Rastik. I'll pause the alerts here momentarily as we let those lovely 10 new members join the channel here. Very cool. Thank you so much, Rastik. Now, here's one thing I want to point out again. Getting back to the stream here. I just want you guys to look at this. Like, remember when I said the iFly Max came out, and I was a little bit hesitant because I know it's a P3D, and when you port over an airplane, there's a lot of devs that don't take full advantage of the current sim of MSFS. Just look at kind of like how, when I zoom out, like I can barely read this. It just is not crisp like the 7.3 Max. Why is somebody on guard? Let's go ahead and switch the guard frequency off. But when I look at this cockpit here, you compare it to the iFly Max. iFly did a great job at taking full advantage of the sim and the details. This is what I said as soon as this airplane hit the market and we flew it. I was like, man, I'm just kind of disappointed in the overall texturing. It's not terrible, but it's just not, it's not what it's capable of. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's go ahead and arm the emergency exit lights while we're at it here. We'll come down here. Let's go ahead and arm the emergency exit lights. I don't know, what did I do there? That was the emergency power, rather. So that's armed. Arm will go no smoking on, seatbelts off. Nav can come on. Logo, we'll turn it on. Just why not? It's going to get dusk here. I did speed the sim up just a little bit because I didn't want to be flying at 12 noon in the middle of the day. And this airplane really struggles with high sun and textures. It's pretty bad. So as the sun sets, it will actually look a little bit better. As you can see as I pan around the airplane, this is about as good as it looks when it comes to texturing. Very flat, very FSXy P3DE, which is unfortunate, but it's not the worst thing I've seen. So we'll keep an eye on it as the sun gets low. Unfathomable, thank you for the $10 super chat. Captain, unrelated question, but how much training time do Airbus pilot gets under direct law conditions? Do you think the training time is sufficient and or necessary? It's definitely necessary, Unfathomable, and it really depends, man. It depends on the airline and the SOPs. So the last couple of years, they have we've upped the abnormal attitude, and I can't think of the name of the sim, where we do pretty much the entire sim session is done in alternate and direct law. So it's definitely increased, and I definitely think it's valuable. And if anything, I would say it's sufficient enough, but you can never have too much. So you can never have too much. All right, ATC advisory, new thing. That's very interesting, Ryan. Yeah, I've never heard that before. Okay, let's go ahead and finish this up here real quick. But thank you again, Unfathomable, for the $10 super chat. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. All right, everything else looks good. We've got the external power on. Let's come back down here and load up the box. We'll go FMC, and before we do that, we'll go over here. We will send flight plan to FMC. We will set payload and fuel, and that should be good. Now, with that done, we will go ahead and start GSX Pro. We'll go ahead and request boarding, because you guys want to see GSX all the time for some reason. We had to buy it again due to Key 6 wanting to see GSX. So here you go. We'll watch GSX load up this bird. tfdi dropped an update. Looks like they're working on the exterior model textures. Yes, I did see that in text form, right? So I'm holding out. I'm still going to say it how it is. No, not right now. I've turned that off. No, crew's already on board. Jetway not close enough to any door, you won't see the passengers. Okay, that's fine. I saw that they are working on modeling and texturing, which is good. Okay, so I'm still holding out. As of right now, I still can't recommend this airplane, but I see that they're actively working on it. I'm hoping that as we get into 24, the updates will keep coming and things will work out. So I haven't given up on it yet. But
Thoughts on Super coming out on 31s. Can't wait for the 380 stream.
Ali Sammy, yes, I cannot wait for that. We've talked about it briefly earlier, but yes, the 31st, Halloween, we will be doing some A380 ops. No doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. I re-downloaded. Yes, A-Rod. I re-downloaded it because Key 6 made me. Yeah, as AJ said, I was gifted a copy, essentially. Jimmy, I want to love this airplane so much. I want to love it, man. I really do. Let's go ahead and finish uploading here, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. So here we go. We got Reno, Denver. Alternate is Colorado Springs. We'll put that in there. I don't think we'll need that. We are going to be Continental 357. We'll throw that in here. Like, I can't even really hear the sounds of the McDo, you know? It's just kind of like, man. All right, we're 370, no step climb. We'll do cost index of 75. We might adjust our cost index as we get going, though. Rubes gifting the 5 memberships. Hey, Rubes, thank you so much for that. I appreciate you, Rubes. Thank you for dropping the 5 gifted members here on the channel. If you pick one up from Rubes, make sure you shout them out. Say thank you. All right, Takeoff 0 fuel weight CG and Takeoff CG 27.6. We'll go over to the next page. We're not going to worry about the fuel in NIT. We've already filled up. We've got fuel on board, so that looks good. So now we'll go to our flight plan. Let's go ahead and set up our Reno departure. I'll tell you what, I kind of like using this one as the ACARS and the weather. So let's go weather, METAR. Can I pull a METAR though? Let's just see. METAR. Let's see if it pulls a message here. Not yet. We'll see. Blackbird Controls in the house, also dropping the 10 gifted memberships. My, oh my, you guys, the gifted subs today are going off the chain. Hey, Blackbird Controls, thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs on the channel, my friend. Really appreciate that. We are rocking the Blackbird Controls 727 levers. So these are the 727 levers for the MD-11. Much better than any other option I have for a 3-condition or three throttle set. But absolutely love the Blackbird controls. They are linked in the description. You can also do !_ Blackbird if you want to check out them. They have the 727 and 737 Honeycomb Bravo mods for right now. Thank you again, Blackbird. Appreciate the support, man. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs, my man. Appreciate you. All right. Let's go back here. So Reno, hold on. Let's go. We got to actually set this up first. Reno departures. We'll do SID. Let's blast off of 17 right. And we don't have a SID to actually follow, which is interesting. We just kind of have a direct to. So let's look at the 17 right departure. And if I just do a vector departure here, we'll just do Mustang 1. That takes us out to Mustang, P-Vine. No, we don't want that one. Sparks? I'm kind of surprised that we don't have a... We're going out to Pesky. There's no SID filed, though. What about just the Reno 1? Let's just do the Reno 1. That's a vector departure. That's going northbound, isn't it? 17, climb on heading 167. Let's do that. So we're going to do the Reno 1. We'll vector ourselves. Reno 1 off 17 right. We'll insert that. From there, we'll go direct to Pesky, all the way down into Denver. Going into Denver, no idea what they're going to be landing or taking off. I think we have 4 right in the box. Somebody tell me what we're going to be landing in Denver. Let's go ahead and get the APU fired up while we do that. We'll go ahead and hit the APU master switch. That's not it. APU power right here. Let's spool it up. Hey, we got an APU sound, though. AJ says, I can vouch for Blackbird Control 737 are a must-have for Honeycomb Bravo users. There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. What are my expectations of the Fly-by-Wire 380? You know, I really don't have a set of expectations. I would like to see nothing less than what we've already come to expect from the current version fly-by-wire 320. Now, I obviously had my density up here. This is boarding way too fast. That's fine. I would like to see nothing less than what we already have with the 380. Or, excuse me, with the 321X. So, full LNAV, VNAV. Well, we can't do, and no RNAV approaches. I don't know if we'll be able to do RNAVs in the 380. I don't know yet. Sounds, I have high hopes, high expectations because it is Boris Audio Works. Other than that, I have no idea what to expect because I don't know much about the 380. I've been following the project from afar, just kind of seeing the updates come through the Discord. I've seen a handful of screenshots every now and then, but it's almost going to be like a surprise for me because I really haven't been too focused on all the pre-release hype and all the pre-release and in-development photos. But that doesn't mean I'm not excited for it. I think it will be even more fun to see it kind of, firsthand once it's on my sim. So, do I recommend the FSS 727? Yes, I do. I do recommend the FSS 727. If I had to pick a three-holer, well, maybe we should wait till the end of this flight. But before this latest sound update, I always said if you wanted a three-holer, go with the FSS 727. I don't know if I'm going to change my mind after this flight or not. Stick around and ask me again on our descent or after landing in Denver. But I do enjoy the 727 a lot. It's a different airplane. It's all manual. It's no glass. So it's a high workload, high stress airplane to fly, especially if you're on some sort of a network. So for those reasons, I do enjoy the challenge that it brings. So, but yeah, I do recommend it. New sounds long overdue. Absolutely, Nabil. Hey, at least we got the APU sound, right? So we'll go ahead and get the APU air on. We'll go ahead and turn off the external power. That looks good. We'll come over here. We will go to our services. We'll disconnect. And let me make sure my brakes are set. They're not. Let's go ahead and set the brakes. Brakes are set. We got pressure. We'll remove the real chocks. We'll pull this standby out. We got to finish our Denver landing. No one gave me a Denver runway, huh? Well, let's just go ahead and see what SimBrief said. SimBrief said planned us to land on 16 left, so let's just put that in the box. I hate Denver for this reason. The only reason we're flying to Denver is because I couldn't find my Houston scenery. We're on the ski 3 off of the bump transition, so let's come down here. Let's find that. The ski 3 bump transition. We'll insert all that. We're all set to go on that box there. Now we need to do our perf and our takeoff perf here and get our dial-a-flap loaded in. Saxmacker dropping the 5 gifted memberships. Saxmacker, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for that. If you pick up one from Saxmacker, make sure you shout him out, say thank you. Very kind. Thank you for the support, guys. Really appreciate you. Denver is landing south. All right, we got it set then. All right, perf, here we go. Let's set this up. Reno, 17 right. Why can't I select 17 right? 17 right. Let's go ahead and get the weather information. Get takeoff weight, 446.3. That checks out. Guys, we are going to... I kind of want to flex because this airplane is so uncontrollable at Toga thrust when you don't need it. This airplane can take so much weight, and we're taking so little. So it'll be up to you. I will run Toga numbers, but we're not going to do it unless we hit 250 likes. That's our standard goal here. So 250 likes for TO, or else we will flex because this airplane is literally almost uncontrollable on a straight TO, no D-rate takeoff when you're light. I mean, you're going, you can go 30 degrees nose up. So anti-ice, none required. We'll do optimum flaps and we'll do packs on, get the takeoff weight. We already did that. Calculate. We've got a V-speed 27, 40, and 50, flap 28. So flap 28, no dial-a-flap needed. 127 on the V1. I tell you what. What if we run a flex? 57 still flaps 28 out of here. That's pretty interesting, flap 28. But much higher V speeds, 38, 45, jeez. I mean, this airplane, I'm telling you guys, it's such a powerful bird. 27, 40, 50. 27, 40, and 50. Flaps 28, no dial-a-flap needed. Stab will be 5.3. Outside air temperature right now off the ECAM is 10C. We'll put that right there. OAT 10C. No slope and wind. Thrust limits. TO 111. All right, I'm going to set TO 1 Actually, I'm gonna set a 10% D rate to 104. Or we can do a flex. What if we do flex 55? What does that give us? Flex 55. Yes. That's what I'll do. Until we hit 250 likes, we're doing a flex 55 TO at 100% thrust. 111 would just be an absolute rocket ship. So it's up to you to hit the likes to see if we actually want to go Toga out of here. But right now we're set with a TO at 55 flex. And let's go return to approach. And I want to, can I set my own flex temp? If I go here, nope. How can I set my own flex temperature? I guess you can't. 57, so close enough. 38, 45, 48. So let's go back. 38, 138. Gosh, this airplane is heavy on the frames too, guys. It really is. 145, 150, VCL of 239. We'll scroll in 239 right here. 239. Top altitude, we've got no ATC on. We'll set our top altitude at flight level 370. 370 is set. Can I nav up on this departure? Yeah, nav armed. Prof armed. TO clamp 370, 239 set. Oh, I got to pre-select 239, right? Like this. Max, dropping in 5 gifted more. Man, Max, appreciate you. Thank you so much, man, for 5 more gifted subs, dude. Very, very kind. Appreciate the support and all the love on the channel today. All right, 239 set. I think I did that right. I don't remember. It's always push, pull, something, something. All right. Fueling is done. Let's go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign on. Let's go ahead and get ready for departure. Go ahead and just pause the rest of the alert box here. Max, thank you so much, man. Appreciate all the support, dude.
Reno traffic, US Air 714, pushing back from gate Charlie 11, facing north on Alpha. Reno traffic.
US Airways, Fokker F-28. Oh, look, there's 2 more DC-10s over there. That's so awesome. All right. Are you guys ready? Let's go ahead and get ready for pushback and departure. And as soon as we get the ignition, it will kill the packs. I love getting a VCL 270 and getting to break 250 below 10. Yeah, that's when you're super heavy. I think it would be cool to do. Well, we kind of did a long haul on this airplane, and we ended up pretty much running out of memory. I mean, I don't know if it had a memory leak or what, but. Remember, it was like our frames died. We also have to set stab of 5.3. Ignition not armed, that's normal. All right, 5.3 and flaps 28, so we won't be using dial a flap, right? Well, we'll go straight to the 28. So then this needs to be stowed, right?
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Reno traffic, Frontier flight 225, departing to the south, runway 17 right. Reno traffic.
Oh, we got somebody departing off our right here. We'll watch that. The balloon song, yes, took all the frames. That was right. The long haul one from Honolulu. From one Max to another. Mad Max got from Max. That's awesome. Thank you guys. Appreciate all the support again, Max. Do I use add-on linker? No, I have it installed, but I never set it up because it looked too complex. And since we're getting 24 in a month, I said screw it. But this is the heaviest airplane that I've flown as far as performance-wise. It's like Fenix original when Fenix first released as far as performance on my system. It is a heavy hitter on the frames for me. I don't know what it is, why, but if you check the specs, it's not like I have a very weak system. So for it to be this heavy, there's definitely something going on here. I definitely use it for 24. Add-on linker is great. Yeah, well, for 24 we shouldn't need it, right, A-Rot? Because everything will be downloadable. That's what I was thinking. We need to go nose right, tail left. And we'll stand by on the push until we get this Fokker out of the way. I can hear him starting. Oh, we got the actual Fokker sounds though. Because it's because I have the Fokker, so we can each hear. We can hear the Fokker sounds. All right, we're standing by to release brakes. We'll throw the beacon on. We will select ignition alpha. With that, the packs get cut out, and we are ready for start. We can go ahead and bring up the charts page here. We'll bring out the taxi 10-9. I think we can only use night mode, which is also peculiar. I don't know if you can change it to day mode.
Release parking brakes.
Let's go ahead and hit a magic bell ref key while I'm thinking about it. Magic bell ref 2, 9, or 9, or 7 is set. All right, we are ready to go.
Release parking brakes.
Yeah, GSX is outdated. Today, AJ, it was fine. And then literally today, was there an update or something?
Reno traffic, Frontier Flight 225, clear of runway 17 right, last call, Reno.
Well, I'd hope you'd be clear of 17 right if you're at, whatever altitude that is.
Release
All right, there goes the
Reno
Fokker.
traffic,
Brakes
US
released.
714, taxi runway 17 left via Alpha.
clear. Started wheel.
Reno traffic, Continental 357 pushing back 8-9 Charlie. All right, so he's clear. All right, let's go ahead and start him up. I don't know what this pushback is going to do. This could be interesting here. Is it going to push us into the alley? I think it's going to push us into the alley. Okay, new sounds. Sounds are up. I'll move them up even a little bit higher. But you see my frames, like, I don't know, just not optimized or something. Bleeds on, engine 3, start. We'll go 3, 1, 2. Here we go. Pulling the valve for number 3. Force Raptor, I'm right there with you, man. So quiet, I can barely hear it. So, very, very quiet though. I don't know why I can barely hear it. Can you guys hear it? Let's go ahead and start number 1. Dial flap needs to be at 15. That's the standard. All right. I think I remember that. You know what else bothers me? Is this is the only airplane.
Parking brake.
Brake set. I'll get to it here in a minute. I would rage F4 and fly something else. I know. They need to get whoever Mango is for X-Plane and get them over here on this bird. Is the MD-11 considered a long hauler? I would say yes, because it is a wide body. I would consider anything a wide body to be a long haul airplane. Maybe not every one of them, but that's kind of that's how I look at it. I mean, it's a wide body, so. And this thing can go frickin' far, man. There's no reason, I mean, there's no wonder why the freight companies have been using the MD-11 so heavily, because it is just an absolute beast of what it can do. 747 enters chat. This is, I cannot wait for a 74. I have been waiting for an airplane to just take my breath away for so long. And, like, we get excited, airplane comes out, I get excited, I fly it for a week. Even the 7.2, like, I'm very excited, I love it. But it's still getting refined, and maybe when the passenger variant comes out, I'll have even more excitement. But right now, I think my only hope is the Bluebird 7.5 and the PMDG 7.4. I think when the PMDG 7.4 drops, I think I might literally do nothing else for a month or two. The Fenix did it to me. Yes, the Fenix is what it did. The Fenix blew me away. And we flew that airplane. We still fly it a ton. I almost flew it today, actually. I was going to fly it until I realized there was an update to this. So, and I want so badly for a three-holer to be just epic. And this is just not, it's not epic, you know? But we'll see how she does here. We got 3 good starts. Let's go ahead and turn the APU air off, and APU power is off. That looks good. We're doing a flaps 28. There's basically no flap sound anymore, which is interesting. Rumor PMDG 7.4 is going to be hot. Yeah, it's going to be very hot. It's not a rumor, man. It's official. They've talked about it. It's a 7.4-100, which I just cannot wait for. Literally cannot wait. Are they hiring? Okay, APU power is coming off. Park brake, seatbelts, no smoking. Config, we're flaps 28. Why do we have a config? We need to go TO on that. There we go. Auto brake TO. We are ready for taxi. 5.3 on the trim. Let's do a flight control check. Let's go ahead and bring up our config. Now this is interesting, and I don't know why this is. Look, when I push my yoke forward, it snaps back. I don't know what that's all about, and I've tried different settings. I might just have to do a full reinstall of the airplane. I mean, I don't push forward that far, but I don't know what's up with that. I've never seen that before. Anyway, our flight controls are free and correct the way they're supposed to be. Let's go ahead and bring it back to the engine page. 5.3 on the trim, 370, 239 VCL. Let's go. Taxi lights coming on. Brakes released. Spool up sounds better be good. I'm hoping. Let's arm the speed brake. Here we go. You tell me. It almost sounds better from the wing view only. It's like maybe they didn't update the outside sounds. I'm not sure what's going on with this bird, man. Hopefully we make it all the way to Denver and I don't have to rage quit. Alright, we're going to taxi 17 right via Bravo. Reno traffic, Continental 357 heavy, taxi 17 right via Bravo. It's definitely still too quiet, I agree. It's louder from inside. And you see my frame? Like, this is the performance. I've had to turn my settings down too. I think I'm running 200 on the LOD. What I normally run, if I'm not full right, I'm running like 300 or something. Reflap sounds, MD11 doesn't make flap noises unless it's dead quiet. Okay. I mean, I could see, I mean, to be fair, I think I did hear the flaps when I was like just testing, and I didn't have all my engines on. I think I just had one engine on. I could hear, so I know there is a flap noise. I do know it's relatively quiet because I've watched the thin air videos, or the KLM rather. We'll see how it sounds at high power, but right now I'm not too impressed. And moving views is like really hard on the framers. The sounds are like the New York Jets. Disappointing. Look at those 2 other MD-11s, though. That's pretty cool. I do like this livery. All right, Fokker, what are you doing? Out of curiosity, how do you bind the the Blackbird 7.2 to the MD-11? Oh, so what I've got, I've got 1, 2, and 3. I've got my reverser, and I have the Toga button on one side, and then I have auto throttle disconnect on the other side.
Reno traffic, US Air 714 taking off from 117 left.
Fokker Hawaiian Ops win. Yeah, it could go back to Hawaii. Looks like we got a tailwind according to the windsock, but you know that's Microsoft, so. A Delta situation there, yeah. So you see how we waited to taxi by. There goes that little Fokker. So, oh, what I was going to say, you know what bothers me is this is the only airplane that like, I have native frame gen. So, very rarely do I see artifacting anymore with the native frame generation with the 4080. But this airplane still has some of the worst artifacting on the engine spinners. Like, I would expect that if I was using the frame gen mod, because that was just kind of one of the downsides to it. But with the performance increase, it was, in my opinion, worth it. But this airplane, with native frame gen, like, you try to look at those spinners, you're just like, what is happening in there? You know? Reno traffic, Continental 357 departing runway 17 right. Reno traffic. What was that? So we just hit a car? We can't taxi around this car? Are you kidding me? Why is there a car at the whole short line? Is it really not going to let me go through this car? Alright, well, I guess we just have to slew. Hopefully it doesn't mess it up. That's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. License and registration, please. Alright, let's reset everything. We'll arm the speed brakes. TO is still armed. I don't know why we got the ABS disarm light on there still. It's part of the scenery? No idea why they put that there? Wow. Well, I'm sure glad you guys didn't hit 250 likes because we'd probably crash if we had to go Toga with this thing. So we were doing a flex takeoff, 55, 100.4 on the thrust. Why would we still have that ABS disarm? Let me go off, recycle it. There we go. Alright, TO is set. We're ready to go. Are you guys ready? I hope we can make it all the way to Denver, Chad. I don't know if we can. I'll tell you what. Traffic. Wait, can you even see the... That's close enough, right? You can see it? Alright. Scenery issue, I think? Alright. So, it is armed. Forward on the stick. Let's go. Spool them up 50. Yoga's in chat. Here we go. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Hold it. hold the Yogas. Oakland approach just hopped on. 25-1. Oh my word. 63.27 on the squawk too, which reminded me. What's this freak? 25-1. I should have just blasted off, huh? Just end the stream and go get a pumpkin spice latte. 25-1. The suspense. What's the ATIS? ATIS is hotel.
USA 714, NorCal.
We are squawking mode, Charlie. Altitude reporting's on. Oh. Local approach, Continental 357, heavy with information hotel. We're on runway 17 right, ready for departure. I guess we'll call you for clearance.
Continental 357, NorCal. Standby.
I'll spin my heading around here. We gotta do a heading departure anyway, I'm assuming. So we're gonna hang on here. I don't know if we're gonna do a heading on departure or if he's gonna give us a different SID to comply with. We were on the Reno 1 departure, which off 17 right, I can barely read this thing. Climb on heading 167. And I Reno localizer south course. I guess we should throw in the Loc south course, huh? Which is 110.9. Probably be a good idea to have that. Where? VHF 3. Okay, now this is interesting. Why haven't I... Where the hell is my nav radio? VHFs. Am I going mad here? Nav rad. That's what it is. 110.9. And we need to track the 167. This clearance is taking. If it's a freaking reroute, I filed the south route because I wanted to go over the mountains, and if they reroute us to the north, I'm going to be really upset. Mr. Saturday, good to see you. Did we brief our complex special? No, there is no complex specials in an MD11. We're just going full. We're just gonna go max power. That's our complex special, A-Rod. We're just gonna bump them all the way up. Just Alt F4 and fly the Fenix. Alt F4. Well, I don't need a PSL. I got myself a nice vanilla cold brew right here, courtesy of Cali Simmer. So we're good on that front. Take your time, ATC. Fuel is free. Alt F4 Iveo Premium. If it's a full reroute, I'll just Alt F4. Well, they just disconnected. All right, the controller disconnected. There's nobody online. Wow. Okay, so. Michael Williams, reroute negative. Let's go. Brakes released. Nobody's online. Confirm. There we go. Let's light them up and go. Logo lights on. Beacon's already on. High and knit is what I wanted. Runway turnoffs. There we go. Took me a minute to find them. All right, lights are set. You guys ready? I made them rethink priorities. Well, I don't want to be mean. I'm just like, I was literally pushing the throttles up. All right, here we go. Spool them up 50. Get those yogas in chat. It's super mid from the outside. Let's go from here. I mean, that's better. Oh, geez. Nav, prof. Close enough. Airspeed's live. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Fly with. Yep, we're gonna fly heading 167. That is pretty mid, if you ask me. Climbing straight out till acceleration altitude, which is much higher. We're gonna climb the mountains. I'm hoping. Why are we climb thrusts? There she goes. Now it's coming up. Took a minute to reach acceleration. Go ahead, lower the nose. You can tell that the trim wheel or the trim click button much quieter now, much better than it used to be. I make better noises in the bathroom. Up to 15 on the dial a flap. Let's go ahead and start a left turn. Let's make it 130 is fine. Heading 130, pull it. I think you forgot to turn the vacuum off. Oh, you guys are savages. You guys are so savage. Let's keep that left turn going all the way around. Slight traction. Slats look pretty decent though. Like this livery, the slats look good. The wing looks really, really good. I like it. Alright, now we're accelerating at 250. I'm going to keep that left turn coming all the way around, then I'll eventually just direct us up to Pesky here. There's 10,000, accelerate to 310 knots. Let's go flight plan direct. Pesky, insert. Oh, we got to go the other way. Nav. For some reason I was thinking Pesky was there. Oh look, we get to see some snow though. That's pretty cool. I'll redirect it here. We'll keep climbing. About 10 degrees. I'm not sure. It wants me to really lower the nose. Since we're still kind of off the beaten path here, I'm just going to keep climbing out about 270. Now we'll redirect her one more time. Pesky. We're navving. And we'll finish our acceleration now to 310 knots. We no longer need VOR1 up. We'll go ahead and go auto brake off. Speed brake disarm. Turn the vacuum down a little bit. It does sound bad outside, doesn't it? Now, the hand flying, I don't know if they changed much of it, but it does hand fly pretty nice now. It used to be really, really oscillating and pitchy, remember? It seems to be a little bit better, and that might just be because I haven't flown it in so long, I forget. Increase the range here a little bit. Well, we're at 310. Okay, go ahead and keep pitching up now. I feel like that flight director is a little lacking, but... Alright, I'm about ready to go AP1 on. So I'm going to disconnect the yoke from the sim. Again, it's one of those airplanes where Doesn't seem to play nice with the Bruner, which again is why I do not recommend the Bruner. Let's go auto flight. AP1 is on. It's going to pitch down aggressively here to capture 310 knots, I think. Is it going to sink? No. All right, all our lights, let's go ahead and make sure they are off. Lights are off, runway turnoffs are off. We'll kill the logo light. We'll ding the flight attendants, let them know we're climbing out of 10,000 feet field elevation. About ready to hit our standard STDs here at 180, and then we'll take another look at it. A300F, oh, you know what? You guys have been saying A300. We haven't flown that in so long. I might have to give it a shot again. Alright, magic, barrel ref, not quite. Where's 18? There it is. 2909 is set. We're standards. We're climbing out 310 knots. Let's go back to Unicom. 22.8 is up. After takeoff checklist is completed. We'll go full screen cam. And we're on our way to Denver, y'all. I'm going to bring this back into the window, I think. Well, maybe not. I was trying to find a good view. I guess we'll just keep it where it is. But you see what I mean? You see that artifacting? So sloppy. That doesn't look half bad right there. Chat is getting spicy? Oh, great. Let me go ahead and get caught back up with the chat now. There is a leaked alpha for the 380. Why don't you try it? You're lying, right? Why don't I have the 380 early? You know, what's up with that fly-by-wire? It is pretty smooth, Dan. It is pretty smooth. Let's not promote it. They deserve a good release after 4 years. Oh, you're telling me that there's someone else that, like, copied it? No. You mean somebody copied the 380 from fly-by-wire and then they're releasing it as their own? That's ridiculous. Any chance for a Duke stream? Man, John, I would love to do one soon, man. I don't know when, but I would love to do one. I don't understand the hate against this update. Incremental right, you shouldn't expect them to fix everything on the first pass. No, I'm not saying there's a lot of hate here, Pilot's Adventure. I'm not saying there's a lot of hate going on here, but what I am saying is the sound, I mean, for a sound update, it's still very, very mediocre at best. The textures on this airplane are mediocre at best. The wing looks pretty dang good right now, I'll tell you that. Hand flying the airplane is much more enjoyable than when it first released. So, I mean, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna call a spade when I see it. I want to love this airplane. That's my problem. Is I really want to love this airplane, and to love an airplane like this, you need a captivating sound pack. You need captivating systems, and it has decent systems modeled on this airplane for sure. Like, the depth is there, but you need a smooth experience. The optimization, in my opinion, is also lacking on this airplane. Like, it's one of the heaviest airplanes on my system, and it's just, I mean, you know, you fly something like the 777 and you feel like you have a soul, that the airplane has a soul. It's coming to life. You got all the everything's comes to life when you boot up, and you got, I don't know, it feels different. This airplane is feeling better with the sound update. I will tell you, before the sound update, when I could hear the standby attitude indicator from the cabin, it killed it for me. It just 100% killed it for me. I felt like I was flying a shell of an airplane from FSX. This is much better. I think if we were flying into maybe some busy airspace, you could kind of get away from losing that immersion because you'd be distracted and busy. And it hand flies great. I do like the way it hand flies, and the sounds up front, I will say the sounds up front have been pretty good. I know it's hard to get true MD-11 sounds. There's not really any of them flying anymore except on cargo. So from what I can hear up front, I actually think it sounds better than outside. I think that the sounds inside sound better than they do outside, which is, we've seen this before with the FSS 727. I think the inside sounds are really, really good on the FSS 727, and they just seem to be, the audio levels seem to be off when you're in external view. And then you look at the price point of this airplane, right? You look at other airplanes that come in at a lesser price and bring more refined, polished products to the table. It makes it a hard sell. Now, with that said, like I've been telling you from the beginning of the stream, is I want to love this airplane, so I'm going to keep trying it here. And here's the thing. There's a Pakistani livery, Pakistan Airlines MD-11 livery. I don't even know if they had MD-11s, but it is so dirty. The flaps are dirty, the airplane is dirty, and it looks really good, actually. The guy did a pretty good job on it. And I was thinking we need to go back to OPSED. We need to go back to Skardu in the MD-11, because the way that this airplane is a challenge to fly, which I think is enjoyable. I do like the challenge of flying this airplane, especially as it gets dirty and especially as you have to maneuver. If you have to maneuver this airplane as you're dirtying it up and configuring for landing, it is very challenging. You've got to be Johnny on the spot with the trim. You got to be Johnny on the spot with your control inputs and power inputs. So I love that about it. And I think that would make for a very exciting approach into Skardu. We kind of got to do it easy mode with the 777 because that airplane flies like a dream. It's a super efficient airplane with with just the length of the wings, and we put those wings to the max pretty much, making that circle into Skardu. I'd be very curious if we can take this puppy in there. So we might have to give that a shot. Why don't you try the rotate MD-11? So Mauritius Veen, I would love to. I just don't want to buy the MD-11 again. So, and I do have X-Plane up and running on my system. I'm not saying no. I would like to fly the MD-11 on X-Plane just to give it a full comparison, because now I do officially have X-Plane up on my system and running. It's an option. Dougal, you got to bail. Hey, take it easy, man. Thank you for being here, my friend. Appreciate you. Max dropping 5 more memberships to the channel. Max, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the gifted subs today. I think you're up to 10 gifted subs already. But thank you so much, man, for supporting the channel and spreading the love with other members here at the V1 Nation, dude. Very kind of you. To be fair, most people fly planes from the cockpit. No, 737 pilot, and you're not wrong. I've heard people make this argument before, like, well, who cares about wing textures if you're flying, you fly from the cockpit. And to that point, I don't disagree with you, 737 Sim Pilot, but for me, when I like when I'm up at cruise, even if before I was a content creator, up at cruise, this is where I park the camera, either here or outside view, or I kind of pan around. And this airplane is actually, the leading edge is actually pretty darn good, I'm not going to lie. The depth of texturing in the back is not the worst I've seen. It actually looks pretty decent. I think the livery has a lot to do with it when they add some coloring and stuff to it. But I don't disagree as long as the cockpit is good. But even when I look at the cockpit, so compare this cockpit to the iFly Max cockpit, overhead looks pretty decent. But as you pan around, you start to see things that just seem like they're a little bit tired. I don't know. What did you guys think? Am I being too critical? I do like the wear and tear, like on the control stand, the dial, a flap. I think the cockpit is totally fine, especially as the sun sets, though. Watch what this cockpit looks like as the sun sets. But you can't compare this straight to the iFly Max. I mean, the iFly Max cockpit is probably one of the best high-quality cockpits that we have in the sim. It is really, really good. Take the A300 into Skardu. Maybe we just do a Skardu week. A week of Skardu flying. Look at the seats. The seats are actually half decent, man. Look at that. I mean, that looks pretty comfy. That's not, I mean... seats are pretty decent. Like, I don't have complaints about the cockpit. I think I'm just spoiled from flying the iFly. I don't think anybody can sit here and tell me that this is as crisp as the iFly. I think the iFly cockpit is probably the best, right there with the Fenix. I mean, iFly and Fenix have pretty much nailed it. But I still like this cockpit. Skardu redo, yes, Lord. We're gonna go from I'd like to go from the airport that they go to Pero from. I keep trying to Kathmandu. Go Kathmandu back to Skardu in the MD-11. Pretty sweet. For me, the FSS 727 is the worst. Really? I think this and this FSS are very similar. I think they're very similar as far as texture-wise goes. Where the FSS struggles for me is when I turn on the lights at night. Like, the lighting looks like it could use work. The fly-by-wire night lighting is really, really good, the 320. I can see V1 moving to Scardu. I think for the price of this, you have the right to be as nitpicky as you want. And I agree, Prodigus. That's another thing, too. This is a very expensive add-on. Now, there apparently is going to be more coming, like updated engines and stuff. But yeah, you're absolutely right. That when you price an airplane at these prices, you open yourself up to very, very thorough criticisms, in my opinion. Even the 777 is cheaper than this airplane. Think about the PMDG and the 777 and how complete and polished that airplane is. Just don't ask Gustavo because he hates it for some reason. But and then you compare the two, you're like, man, it's just really, So anyway, as an expert on modeling 727 throttles, the FSS 727 are not quite right. Very interesting, Blackbird. Very interesting. But I know what, Blackbird, I know my throttles are right because I got the Blackbird Control 727 levers. That's all I care about. I compare it with Captain Sim 727 for FSX. That was pretty much photorealistic. Yes. Who else thinks V1 is John Hamm? Zach Contrabasso, man, good to see you. V1, there is a really good Pakistan A300 paint. Really? So I guess maybe we just need to do a Pakistan A300 tour or a Pakistan Airlines Skardu tour and just literally fly in and out of Skardu for an entire week. Look at the performance, though. We zipped up to 370. I mean, in 16 minutes. In 16 minutes, we took from takeoff to cruise altitude 37,000 feet. If we were in a 321, we'd still be at like 21,000. Fly the Mad Dog is so underrated, even with the modeling flaws system-wise, one of the top 3. Ish. It's interesting that you say that because I almost flew the Mad Dog again. Something was drawing me back to that airplane. And for the price, I don't think it's underrated. I think for its price now, it's okay. I mean, again, when it came out, it was the most expensive airplane on the sim, and it just did not live up to that price tag. Now, I think it fits the price tag. I don't know if I would call it underrated, though, because it, too, is showing its age a little bit, especially on the wings. And that's only due to the fact that we've seen other airplanes come out. Because when the Leonardo first came out, I said it. I said, it's the best wing texture we have in the sim. And it was, until we started to see some other developers come out and develop fantastic wings. Key 6. Thank you so much for the $5. I'm just going to start calling Key 6 Mr. GSX. Thanks for the $5 super chat, man. Who cares about the MD-11 and Skardu? The Niners beat the Cowboys, and that's all you need to know. You know what? I'm not even going to give you a heart on that super chat, Key 6. You know what? Just because of that, I'm just not even going to give you a little like on that situation. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for the $5 super chat. I'm glad you were able to come here and talk smack. But yes, unfortunately, what is it, 3 years in a row now? Cowboys can't win in San Fran? Jeez. I think Wingstop developed fantastic wings. How about the Thrustmaster 320 throttles? And got to say, I'm pretty disappointed. John, I made a review on those Thrustmaster throttles many years ago when they first came out. And if you would have watched it, probably would have thought twice about picking them up. Yeah, I could tell from the first 10 minutes of using them that they were not going to be the throttle set for me. Let's go ahead and get some tunes up here as we settle in. Let's go. Is that too loud? Let me turn it down a little more. Different playlist. There we go. Now, look at that. It's still a beautiful model, right? Come on. This is why I want to love the MD-11 so much. Look at that. That is so cool. We got the meatball in the shadow of all that. So nice. PMDG 777 has a problem of sound. Gus, I don't think it's the best sounding 777 I've ever heard, but it doesn't break the immersion for me, Gus. Say what you want. And maybe it's because I haven't flown the 777 in X-Plane. I know everyone raves about the 777 in X-Plane with the sound set, so maybe if I fly that, then I'd have a different outlook on the 777 with PMDG. Because other than the PMDG triple, I don't think I've ever flown a 777 on the sim. So I think that's what I need to do. And then maybe I'll agree with you, Gus. PMDG triple has a rotation issue? What do you mean by that? Are you excited for the 777F? Or the modern freighter's kind of meh? Modern anything to me is meh. But I think it'd be interesting to see a 777 freighter. Who flies them? I don't even know who flies a 777 freighter. They tweaked the 777 sound since release for sure. Yeah, since release, Lorne, when they first dropped, they were not good. On approach, it was like battling the bees. You know, it was like battling the... no doubt about that. But for now, I think they've gotten much better. I really do. TMDG works awesome for you? Yeah, me too, man. Currently flying it right now from Narita to San Fran. Ooh, yeah. So yesterday, coming into DFW, we were right in front of a Qantas 7. And if I'm not mistaken, let me look it up. Is that a 380? Qantas 7 all the way to from Sydney to DFW? That is a long flight. Yes, Sydney to DFW. And that is a... What type is that? So that was on Sunday. Oh, that was a 787-9. Ah, man, I was hoping it was a 380. But I did get sequenced in behind a 747 as well. We're right behind a 7.4 coming in and a 7.8 behind us. Would you consider getting a single or full-sized home cockpit? Adam, Chino, I'd consider it, but meh, not right now. I took Qantas Flight 12 from LA to Sydney 380, 15 and a half hours. Ouch. Deeb669, welcome in, man. Appreciate you. Qantas 380 does JFK, LA, Sydney. Ah, okay. 380 starts in December. Qantas Flight is bringing 380 back next year to DFW. Okay. Did you catch Dallas, Brisbane? You know what? I saw that. I didn't. I don't think I was flying when they took off, but I did hear about that American 7. Uh-oh, Full Flap's here. Full Flap's in the house. I thought you were streaming, man. Dude, I thought you did that stream like a week ago. The short field performance kit. Because I remember I was going to fly on like a Saturday with you, and then like you never, like, and then something came up and I never ended up flying, but I thought that's when that stream was. Did you delay it to today? I mean, obviously you were going live today, right? Why are you here already? Are you in cruise? You must be in cruise. Go check out Full Flap. He only lands flap 15. JJ Stevens, thanks for the $5 super chat, man. 380 delivery flight, must do that big stream October 31st. Ooh, where would we deliver it from, chat? Where would we deliver? See, the problem with doing a long haul on the 31st is I actually have a 2-day trip starting on the 1st. I hate doing long hauls in the sim right before I go to work for some reason, because it doesn't feel like a Friday, you know? Long hauls to me feel like they need to be done on Fridays after school. Toulouse? No way. How long would that flight take? Hard to do Delta Ops without a good 7.6. We're hanging tight, man. The whole fam was sick? Dude, well, hopefully everybody's better, man. That's unfortunate. I know what that's like, though, man. Just wait till kids get older. One of them goes down, everybody goes down. It's awful. Hopefully everybody makes a speed of recovery, dude. Reno, Denver. Yes, it is. Visual Great Salt Lake. Let's take a look. I think it's right there, right? I think Salt Lake is right there. But no, we actually took the southern route, Blackbird. We took southern route so we could go up over more of the Rockies going into Denver. Run a southern route. I'm about to hit 18 hours. I finally had my first landing where my instructor couldn't critique it, and I even heard words he never said before. That was a greaser. Hey, Sim Pilot, that's awesome, man. You're going to chase that feeling for the rest of your life, and that's what my instructor told me. The first time I ever greased a landing, it was in, oh gosh, Key 6 would probably know. Woodford? There was a Lake Woodford? I don't know, somewhere in Florida. And gosh, I'm drawing a blank on it now. If I saw a chart, I'd know what it was, but I greased it. And my first greaser, he's like, That was awesome. He's like, now chase that feeling for the rest of your life, because it's literally one of those landings where the first one you have, where you feel the tires slowly drag up to speed. If you're a pilot, you know what I'm talking about. You probably remember your first true greaser in a GA plane, where there is no chirping, there is no popping. It's just you feel the tires like drag up to speed because you're just landing so smooth. And that's what you got to chase.
Bank angle.
All I ask is that when you do the long-haul A380 flight, if you arrive on the west coast, to have a little bit of mercy and make your arrival past, say, 6 a.m. Pretty please.
Oh, that was
3
epic.
a.m. alarm hurt.
I bet it did.
Lol.
Hey, I had to set a 3 a.m. alarm on Sunday, Cali Simmer, to go back to... I had an East Coast, West Coast. I was like, my body clock was all jacked up. But thanks again for another $5 bank angle check. Yes, if we do a long haul, we will make sure we're not doing a 3 a.m. local time arrival into LA, because yeah, that was awesome though. To this day, that was my favorite stream I think we've done. 15 hours. The second half and landing of the flight, I have it recorded, but it's not public. If you weren't there live, you missed an epic landing. I think we greased it too. I think it was like a 1860 or something into LAX in a 748. So epic. JJ Stevens, thank you for a $5 bank angle check, man. Appreciate you. We fly 380 delivery from Mobile to LA. Hey, JJ Stevens, you have the idea, my man. That's what we're doing. We're gonna go. Is there someone tell me there's a Mobile, Alabama scenery? Let's go from Mobile to LA. You know what I was talking about in Discord before we went live? I was like, hey, on release day, what I should do is not even do a flight. We should just go to Dubai and plane spot all the 380s, like either overrunning the runway or taking off. Or I wonder if there'll be model matching for it. Well, I'm surely there will be, right? This livery really makes me want a DC-10, Dale. I wish we had a DC-10, man. And unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever see a DC-10 in the sim. For some reason, unless somebody comes and saves us, the era of analog airliners is dying very, very fast. We've got the FSS 727 and fingers crossed for the PMDG 74-100. But that's it, man. No L10s, no DC-10s, no 707s. It's unfortunate. Everyone wants to fly the magenta line. I guess it's so they can sit here with the autopilot on and just don't have to worry about anything. Let's try to convince Roberto to develop a 380 throttle. Oh, Adam Chino. Well, you know what? He does stop by the streams from time to time. We'll give him a shout. We'll give him a shout. If you put the TFDI upside down on the runway, it's a DC-10. What? Look at that. Oh my gosh, guys. That was the coolest thing I've seen in the flight sim. We just contrailed past somebody en route. How freaking cool was that? That was so epic. That was so epic. All right, let's see here. Map. No, I want airports. How do I declutter the airports? Trying to get to see where we are here. No VOR. Nope. Nope. ELY. Just trying to get a general idea where we are. Somebody's getting... No one's doing an L1011, man. No one will do an L1011. Too complex, which is sad when you say about it, but I think modeling an L1011 is just above and beyond any developer's current like what's the ratio from what the development that they have to put into it. I think Fenix talked about this, where is L1011 would be fun for them to do. The amount of work it would cost them to do an L1011 properly, you're not going to have that many people buy it. I mean, I would buy it day one, you know, but most of the children that fly flight sim, they don't want that type of aircraft, so it's unfortunate. Speaking of our Qantas flight, this was the 747 theme song right here. Aerial Simulations developing a 707. Yeah, well, is it going to be like the other one that came out? What was the song? What song? Oh, geez, Mickey G. What song was it? Well, I just switched pages. Leave it to economics to ruin another good idea. Virtual Flight Diaries, thanks for the 8 months support, man. Modern Autopilot allows you to binge your favorite streamer. That is true. That is true. Three-holder lives matter. I know it. Well, you know that Roberto did say in an interview that he likes three-holders. So, and I believe he's actually flying a three-holder in real life right now. I think that's what he said on one of the streams he popped in on. So maybe unsubscribing Mickey G. All right, for Mickey G, let me see if I can find the song he was looking for. Maybe, guys. Maybe if we hold out long enough, PMDG will make a three-holder. What song, man? This one? No? No? Was it this song, Mickey G? We're trying to go back and find a song for Mickey G so it doesn't unsub. I like how Fenix says the best or nothing. I do like that. Is it a flop or has it turned around? Front row Kenny. The current update sounds are not enough for me to recommend it, unfortunately. I was very, very underwhelmed by the startup and takeoff. And the hand flying is still good. Hand flying is good, but it's very heavy on frames for me. Performance is still tough. The sounds are just still not there. So maybe it's not a flop, but in my opinion, I can't in good conscience just say, hey, go out and spend $100 on this bird. I can't yet. I think it will get there. I have faith in TFDI for what they can do. I know it's in the realm of their capability. Is this the song you're looking for, Mickey G? Captain didn't develop a good L1011? Yes. Yes. It was developed back in the day. Maybe Captain Sim... You know what? Even if they came out... I wish Captain Sim would push an L1011 for Microsoft, because I would buy it, and then I would try to like buy the rights to modifying it or whatever, and then just hire a team to make it a real air... Like, make the guts of it. Because if they could bring the model in, that's what they do now, is they make good models. But back in the day, they used to make good airplanes. Too silent, interesting. I might be showing your age by mistake. Have you flown one of these in real life? What? No. Have I flown on one of these? Yes, I have flown on an MD-11. Yes. Yes, I have. Does this plane get a C or a D plus? Jeremy, let's give it a D plus or a C minus. What do you think? I think it's between a D plus or a C minus. Hand flying is nice. Let's give it a C minus, Jeremy, because sounds, even though they're super important to you and me, I don't think it's. I don't think we can give it a D. I think it's a C minus. Not minus. Yeah, Adam, if you have some discretionary income and you really love three-holders, then I think you'd say go ahead and get it. And here's the other thing too. Everybody's got their own desires, right? Like if I was a hugely passionate MD-11 person, then I think I would be happy with this airplane just because I've got a decent model, some good texturing in some areas, the flying is good. So I would be happy if I was a hardcore MD-11 enjoyer. But I'm not. MD-11 to me is, of all the three-holders available, the MD-11 would be my least sought-after one, right? I'd go L1011, 727, DC-10, and then an MD-11. So that's also playing against my rating. There is a BFM Mobile International Airport with Airbus facility that's good on the flight sim. Yo, JJ Stevens. All right, man. Well, I think we heard it here first, y'all. Should we go Mobile, Alabama to LAX on our 380 delivery flight? I think we should do that. I think we should do that. I am once again asking for 7-4. Steven, it's coming, man. It's coming. Uh-oh, what did Wingnut say? I'll start putting on slow mode on this thing. I want to boycott Microsoft until someone makes a legit 707. Yeah. I would love a legit 707, man. Bama to LA. Let's do it, Cali Simmer. And it's freeware, right? So how many 380s can we get in? Should we do it as we should promote it as a group flight? How many 380s do you think we could fit in Mobile, Alabama? Wasn't there a DC-10 for FS 2020? Mr. Saturday, there is. It's the Aerodynamics DC-10, which it looks good. I've been in the Discord since pretty much the inception of it. I've followed it from a distance. It looks good. I'm not holding my breath, though, because it is freeware. The only airplane ever that was a freeware project that I was thoroughly impressed by was the fly-by-wire 320. Now, there have been some other freeware airplanes that I've enjoyed, but to be thoroughly impressed by, it's only happened one time in my history of flight simming. Now, I mean, you can go back to the AvSim days of Project Open Sky. We've talked about it before, sticking cockpit panels in different airplanes and freeware this, freeware that. But that was fun, and it got us by. But truly impressed for freeware has only been the 320. Oh, and the Zebo. Yes, Lauren, absolutely. Zebo, absolutely. Zebo 737, absolutely. Impressed by that. So it's very rare that a freeware comes out that I get super excited for. That's why I'm not holding my breath for the Aerodynamic DC-10, but it does look good. I've seen the screenshots. I've watched the updates. I've read the updates. It looks good, and I'm really hoping it's great. We'll see. Posky, name I haven't heard in years. I know. It's funny. Every time I bring that up on stream, somebody says that. It's just awesome. Project Open Sky. Posky, baby. Unfathomable, thanks for the $5 super chat. What's your opinion on the 7X 78350 receiving touchscreen PFDs? Well, I don't know how it will be in a wide body, but I can tell you the only time I've used touchscreen navigation was the GTN series on a Beech 99, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it because in a Beech 99 you get bumped around big time, and it makes it very challenging to do the proper radio swapping. Sometimes you double tap, and there are safeguards in place and settings in place to make it where it's not just impossible to use touchscreen while you're flying. But in my opinion, I still prefer a knob or button. Now, how will that be in an airliner? It's a little bit different. I'm sure it'll be just fine because you're not going to get rocked around in a 7.8 like you do in a Beech 99. Why does this song always come up? What's up, Captain? What are your thoughts for the F9MK merger? I fly for F9 and hoping it happens. Both companies need each other to survive and compete against the legacies. Lucas Bennett, as far as I'm aware, I haven't seen anything that they're merging again. I think those rumors of the talks, but I haven't seen anything that says that's actually happening. If it does, I think it makes sense, though. Looking outside in, Lucas, I think that's it. I have no objection to it. How else are these companies supposed to compete with the completely dominated market by the big three, So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. They sent me the link. Thanks you, JJ. Thank you, man. I will definitely check it out. This is XP72 music, what this song is? What's the best way to get less lag on pay-where scenery airports? Turn down your LOD, man. Your dynamic LOD, or not your dynamic, sorry. You can get dynamic LOD, which is a freeware program that adjusts your LOD according to your altitude. I highly recommend that. If you don't use that, then when you're at these airports, you need to turn down the LOD. because that is the #1 performance hitter in the sim. If you hit my specs right now, you can see that it's a pretty powerful computer. And in this airplane, I still have to turn my LOD down to 200. Normally on this PC, I can run it all the way to the right, or maybe like 300 or whatever it is, just under max. But with this airplane, I gotta knock it down. So, but that is your #1 frame producer, is that setting there. Where do I find LOD? I'll show you. Go General Options, right here. Terrain level of detail. So right now I'm running 220. Normally I'm running this sucker up here and this sucker all the way to the right. But with this airplane, I can't do it. I get stutters when I pan the camera around or jump views. But this slider right here, if you want to see frames, or if you're ever having an issue, you're like, I'm freezing every time I land or whatever, turn that all the way to the left just to see if that makes a difference. And if it does, then you know it's some graphical limitation that you're running into. Because I mean, even just a 50 digit change on that will change your frames like 7 to 10 FPS. But I would look into dynamic LOD as well, because dynamic LOD is a program that'll run in the background that will adjust that LOD slider depending on your altitude. And that's really what you need, because on the ground you don't need to render stuff in at very far distances, because you can't even see them, right? Because you're on the ground. As you climb an altitude, that LOD can go up. You have less. You don't have all these tiny details of being on the ground, so you can draw stuff further away. So the higher you go up, the further to the right that number can go. The lower you are, the less that LOD should be to make a nice smooth experience for you, and that's what dynamic LOD does. Auto FPS works amazing. It's the same thing, JJ Stevens, I believe. It takes that same concept, but it targets an FPS rate. I think dynamic LOD was kind of like the original program to run the background, and then that was kind of built upon for auto FPS, if I'm not mistaken. Have you tried the Airfoil Labs products and X-Plane? Yes, they are good. Airfoil Labs King Air, one of my favorites, man. Oh yeah, Will Long, absolutely. Absolutely Will Long. Yeah, turn that sucker down, that'll help. Just wait until 24, your computer will be sweating. Oh yes, absolutely. Alright, how are we doing here? Denver is one of those airports where it's, I never know where I'm going or what I'm doing, so we're gonna have to prep early. Okay, but so as I juice up the cockpit here, you'll see that this cockpit is actually really nice in this lighting environment. Like this, I think looks really good. You know, we can get in here on these screens, doing a Mr. Saturday slow-mo shot, something like that. So in lower lighting conditions, this cockpit really shines. Why is why is that clear? Why is the gear lever clear? There's obviously a reason for that. Just find that very peculiar. Absolutely will. About to try a 7.4 and Antonov takeoff on mobile. All right. Let us know, JJ. Let us know. Mobile, Alabama to LAX. How long is that going to be? Geez, 5 hours? How long is that runway? Does it have red transit unsafe? Yes, it does, Wingnut. Oh, that's why, huh? Okay, yeah. Duh. Makes sense. But yeah, Wingnut, you're right. So that is the gear unsafe right there. This will illuminate. Yep. Interesting. Very interesting. Where's the... I wonder if I can test that. Surely you can test that, right? Anti-skid. I don't want to lower the gear. That's handle release. Ooh, event marker. This is Wingnut's favorite button right here. This is when you screw something up and you gotta mark the tapes. Where would that be? FADEC. Lights test. No, it doesn't come on the lights test. I think the Christmas tree button on the right side of the overhead. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it didn't come on the lights test, though. I don't know why not. It's pronounced mobile. Just in case the Crimson Tide mob come after you. How's that Crimson Tide mob doing in the NCAA football, man? Mobile. Someone suggested to hide the EFB, check the USB. Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's try that. I mean, right now frames are fine in cruise, but oh, it hides both of them. Interesting. As that sun begins to set on the meatball. Gotta love it. That's kind of a cool shot right there. This plane shows hints of being really good, great even, which makes it more frustrating. Yes. Yes, Mr. Saturday, that's what I've said too. It's like, there's just a few things that if they could knock out of the park, this would be a fantastic add-on. I think the 727 is there too, you know. There's just a few things that they need to squash and get ironed out to make the 727 go from good to truly great. Duke stream when? Soon, TM. Maybe next month. I mean, I got a lot of time off next month, so I'm sure we'll be back in the Dukes then. Try an FO seat landing? No, we'd crash. Interesting fact, in 1981, Continental Airlines did indeed have a DC-10 modified with the winglets, historically to efficiency, a precursor to the MD-11. Very cool, Aviator 51. I thought I saw something on Google Images when I was searching for was images for this. I thought I saw something about that. That's interesting. Wingnut says FSS 727 released complete and gone backwards with each update. Yeah, it's yeah, that's a fair way to put it. I feel like with each update, it's like one step forward, 2 steps backwards. Oh, this is cool as we get ready to go over the mountains. That is so cool. Head over to Full Flap Sim for FO seat action. There you go. Yes. Shameless plug. Wingnut's over here plugging his channel. It's all good. He's grandfathered in. I really think it should be called Flap 15 Simulations, though. Have you even done a full flap landing yet on your channel, Full Flap Sim? Not quite the right vibe for this one. Gustavo, what's going on with the FlyJ 7.3 and 7.2 stuff? Are they working on being updated or what? Because I tell you what, after seeing Flight Deck to Sim do a 7.4-200 Felis, if I can't get my hands on the MD-11, we might do a 7.4 Felis flight in X-Plane first. Yes, WASM failures on the 727 frustrating. I could absolutely WASM failures anywhere are extremely frustrating. Yeah, doesn't that gold looks perfect right now, doesn't it, Dale? I'm getting the impression that new add-ons are requiring so much resources that fewer devs have the clout to achieve something good. I don't think you're wrong either there, man. I don't think you're wrong. Clipper Felis 747. Yeah, I think we need to. Mr. Saturday, do you do any X-Plane videos? You should totally do like a 747 hype video from X-Plane. Your media, what are the words I'm looking for here? Your creativity and your editing. Well, first off, your editing skills are phenomenal. Now, because I have some editing background stuff. Like when I see really good videos, I know the work that's being put in to make them good. So the amount of your skills with the editing software that you have and your creativity to how you bring it together, just awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff. Yeah, dude, the Mr. Saturday 7.3 hype video, I played that on my living room TV like 4 times. Absolutely insane. The 7.4 is something else. The Rotate MD-11 looks better in TFDI. Really, Gus? So you still think, Gus, that the Rotate MD-11 looks better in TFDI? All right, well, get me a copy of it. Who's TFDI? I gotta hit him up because I really don't want to buy it again, but I guess I will. But we're gonna fly in default scenery, so we'll fly a sunset flight. How's that? Maybe we can do we do a short sunset flight, like over the water? Because I don't want to spend time. I will not do ortho, and I'm not buying any sceneries for X-Plane. Have you requested time off? I am off on the 31st, Nash, but I'm not doing that flight. I'm not doing that flight. Fake pilot, real graphic designer. That's 742 though, man. Fearless. I mean, awesome airplane. Awesome airplane. Oh, this is cool as we get a sunset. I guess we'll let the sun set on the meatball. We'll take it into night mode into Denver. Talk about illusions. Oh, that's a cool shot right there too. How about the juice, Mr. Martini? Yes. You're flying TFDI, you need also to have auto ortho. Nope, not doing auto ortho. I'm not doing regular ortho, man. Not doing it. X-Plane 12 has not deserved my time and energy to do ortho or any of that stuff. To be fair, the Rotate MD-11 was just as much a disaster, worse on release. It was pretty rough on release, I remember. But I also remember we greased it into Honduras. We absolutely crushed that flight. You think the cockpit was manual? I thought the cockpit, for what was modeled, that it was actually one of the best in X-Plane. Like, X-Plane cockpits, it's like the devs, the majority of the developers for X-Plane have gotten stuck on X-Plane 9 graphics in their cockpits. Like, they just don't advance the cockpit texturing and modeling, where the sim does seem to be advancing. I've seen screenshots where the lighting looks much better, and with scenery tweaks and everything, it from the outside looking in is good. And the 777, actually, I think, Gus, you posted a video landing the 777 in San Jose, Costa Rica in the Discord, and that actually looked pretty darn good from the cockpit. That Flight Factor 777 cockpit looked pretty good. So it's possible to have much better looking cockpits than I think the average user is getting from these developers in X-Plane 12. Meatball Monday. I like that, Alpha Mike. What's up? Good to see you, man. Thanks for the 29 months support. What got me on the Fearless was the sounds, man. I remember the first time I took off in the Fearless 742, and you hear that roar. And if you watch, there's a video of a 74200 going into Kai Tech, and they get a little slow, and you hear them spool up. It's identical. I don't know where they got the sounds or the recordings from on the Fearless 7.4, but it is some of the best sounds that I've seen for X-Plane. True work of art, Dan. True work of art. And Adam Chino, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, why haven't we seen this bar be raised from the cockpit point of view of development in that sim? Because you've got two things holding that simulator back: ortho and modeling, texturing of cockpits and airplanes from the developers. Not every developer, but a lot of them. I feel like a lot of them are stuck in when their original airplane came out. Look at the Flight Factor 7576. I loaded into the 7576 the other day, and I couldn't do it. I literally Alt F4'd the simulator because I was like, this is just horrendous. So, and then you look at the Flight Factor 777, like, okay, that's pretty good. So I don't know what needs to happen. I don't know if they're ever going to get a kick in the butt and really turn that over. I hope so. Which dev has FS9? Tom, you got the 7576. I've seen pictures of the 339. That is not awesome. What other airplanes are out there? On the FlyJ stuff is actually, I thought the FlyJ stuff was pretty good. I haven't seen it in 12 yet, though. Jeremy, I think so. I don't think he does either. I think it's fueled by lack of competition. That's probably true, Nash. Probably true. IXEG flight deck is good. Yes. Yes, the IXEG flight deck does look good. Oh man, what a sunset we're getting here, y'all. Let's just make sure we're not missing like a top of descent here. Not quite, but we're gonna. This is perfect timing because the sun will set and then we'll have to go to work. This is some juice right here, though. Look at this. That is crazy. We're gonna watch the sun just. We should get back in the IXEG too, maybe. Historically, X-Plane has dedicated more of their limited resources to modeling. In that sense, Microsoft feels like X-Plane looks. Microsoft flies like X-Plane looks? I think it's because you're using the freaking Thrustmaster Warthog joystick for everything. That makes a huge difference, Wingdut. I'm telling you, man. Going from a side stick, even to just fly the 737, right? If you got a TCA Boeing yoke, I think you would have a different opinion. I really do. I really do. Having a good controller peripheral in Microsoft makes a huge difference. Having force feedback in Microsoft makes almost every airplane fly amazing. That's what's crazy. Airplanes that are unflyable with a spring axis are relatively enjoyable with force feedback. But again, like I said, hang on, don't bet a force feedback yet. Wait till we have someone like Moza or Flight Sim or somebody that's got a more up-to-date version of force feedback come to Microsoft Flight Sim. Because the Brunner, for the price, you shouldn't have to worry about it working with an airplane that you want to fly. Ron G, yes, I'm still using the Brunner. I enjoy it, but like right now I have it disconnected because this airplane will not fly on autopilot with the Brunner. The fake pilot streamer buddy of mine keeps telling me to hold off on getting a yoke. Get a Boeing yoke, man. Well, yeah, I think you will really like and it'd be a great set-in. I mean, coming from the Warthog side stick to the TCA Boeing yoke will be a huge increase in satisfaction for you. I guarantee it, man. Thrustmaster for sure, Wingnut. Oh, there she goes. And it's time to go to work, chat. The sun has set. And we've got who we got? Denver Center. It's time to go to work. We'll fade this song out. Oh, it's about to end anyway here in about 20 seconds. All right. Get the sim up and the music down. It's time to work. That was Alpines by Andra Norte. All right, music is off. We need to call the center 2765. Fabiano's here. Hey, man, how you doing, dude? Hope you're having a wonderful week. Happy Monday to you. Thanks for stopping by, man. The legend himself, 2765. 2765. I love how this takes, you scroll every digit. 2765. Denver Center, good afternoon, or good evening, rather. It's at Continental 357, level 370.
Continental 357, Denver Center, good afternoon, IDEN.
IDEN, Continental 357.
Southwest 1917, turn your transponder, please, so I can give you taxi instructions.
There you go. Let's get rid of the VORs. Let's start looking at stuff here. Let's bring our EFB back online.
Southwest 1917, got you now. Where are you parking?
Also, this EFB is kind of clunky for me, too. It's really laggy.
Southwest 1917, Roger, Mike, Alpha November to the gate.
See, I'm still getting Reno. Okay, where can I get Denver?
Channel 357, radar contact 40 miles northwest of the Dove Creek VOR 370, welcome.
That's us, Continental 357. All right, so we're checked in with him. Why can't I get Denver
Center November
charts?
7 Foxtrot, we're getting some nasty mountain turbulence up here. Anyway, we can have some 19,000, sir.
No.
Yes, sir. November
Who's
817
looking
Tango
and
5 Charlie
enjoying.
Tango
Good to see you, man.
190.
190,
All right,
Tango Fox.
let me see if I can get us a... Did I ever get an ATIS back from this thing? I don't think we did. Alright, so in that case, I'm just going to get the Denver arrival ATIS over here. It's information Bravo, expecting ILS, RNAV, or visual approaches 16 right and left 17. Multiple RNAV Zulus in use. So, if we look at the Z chart, we're probably going to get 16 right. Is that right? 16 right? Is what we're going to request. So, if we look at the approaches, 16 right here. Is this a Zulu? There is no Zulu on this one. So that's right. Those are the RNAV Zulu. So 16 right. What did we put in the box? Scroll you down here. I did 16 left.
And Denver Center Southwest 36.3. I just wanted to know if we missed any calls from you. We got disconnected.
Not that I'm aware of, sir.
Turn the floods down a little bit. So which one is that on?
Denver Center, number 341. Currently have 12,400 for
That's what I want.
16,000.
Juice it up here.
341 Charlie, Denver Center, welcome, climb maintain level 410, clear direct Goodland, that's Gulf Lima Delta.
Our arrival, though, as we wait for a runway 7, we're on the Ski 3.
Alright, climb maintain level 410.
So let's go stars. You can't pin charts here either, which is frustrating with this airplane. Ski 3.
Denver Center, Badlands 96 request.
Badlands? Who the hell is that?
I'd like to request the RNAV RNP Zulu runway 17 right from Quickie.
No. So they're sending them over to the East Complex.
Badlands 96, yes sir, you can expect that.
Expect the RNP Zulu from Quickie, Badlands 96.
Alright, we get a descend via, though. Looks like it's going to be 11,000 on either side here. So we'll have 11,000 for the bottom
American
altitude.
8, welcome to Denver, where are you parking?
Approach 16 right is my assumption, so I'm going
Roger,
to load
American
that
8,
up here.
let's see here, Mike and Charlie November, the north side of the Charlie Gate.
Denver Center Southwest 36.3. Permission to step away for about 2 minutes.
No. How do I change?
That was 3623.
I got to click on the
Hey,
approach, right? Runway 16 left.
Yep, report back please.
Roger.
Okay, 505 departing my airspace to the south. Albuquerque Center is offline. Radar service terminated. Free change approved. Have a good flight.
The RNAV Zulu is offset 16 right. No, we're not going to do the RNAV Zulu. We are unable. But we will do 16 right ILS, and we will maybe get. We'll take it off of Kaylee. What's the star again? Ski 3. That takes us out to Cliff. So we'll load the approach for 16 right off of.
Seattle Center, Alaska 628.
We'll do Tishner. I don't know, Tishner or Kaylee. We'll do Kaylee, I guess.
Charlie
All right, 16 right Kaylee on the Ski 3 bump. So we'll insert that. Let's look at our plan. Can I put you in plan mode here? Boom.
Attention aircraft, I'm sorry, but I got a work call. Denver Center now needs to close. Let's see here. Southwest 417, radar service terminated for exchange approved. Frontier 225, Denver altimeter 2973, Denver's landing south, winds at Denver 2606, radar service terminated for exchange approved. Denver CTAF is 124.3.
We'll prime that up, 24.3.
CTAF 124.3, thanks for the ATC, Frontier 2220.
ILS 16 right is noted out.
Alaska 620, you can taxi ramp pilot discretion.
Taxi pilot discretion, thanks for your services. Have a good day.
Badlands 96,
Well, if he's stepping
you
off,
can
we'll
continue to
still
fly,
do
fly the arrival, and then RNAV Zulu 17 right from Quickie should be good by the time you get there. For exchange approved, Denver CTAF is 124.3.
Freak approved, we'll see you Badlands 96.
American 103, descend and maintain level 350.
All right, we'll scroll in
350 for
11,000.
American. Channel 357, Denver Center is closing, radar service terminated for exchange approved. Have a good flight.
Holding contact stage is kind of 3% soon. All right, back to 22.8. I will put 22.8 up after I cycle over 24.3. All right, 22.8 is up, 24.3 is in the standby. We've got the ILS 16 right. Winds are 250 at 6, 10 miles. Few at 11, scattered 15, scattered 22, 26. It's 26 degrees. I gotta tell you, I am not impressed with the temperature of this fall season. It has been way too hot. Way too hot. We're gonna actually do a flaps 30 landing on this one. Flaps 35, which will be 156 VAP. VREF is 151. As far as the nav rad, let's go ahead and clear out Ireno. We don't need you anymore. Clear those out. It's auto tuning, but let's go ahead and set up the LS courses. 111.9 and 173. 111.9 and 173 is what we're looking for. Nope, not 017. What's going on here? See how you can't hear the clicks either? 111.9, 173. 111.9, 173. Touchdown zone is 53. We'll be stable by 6,400 feet. Final approach fix is Jetson at 7,000. So that only gives us 400 feet to be stable. So we got to be configured. Make sure we're slowing up on time here for Jetson at 7,000. Sector out to 9,200 feet off the Denver VOR. Our minimums are 55.26, which is 200. So, man, I need to turn the flood back on here. Let's see what I'm doing. We are, I mean, it is pitch black. We got like no moon tonight, or what's going on with this pitch blackness here? Should we wind the time back? What is with this pitch blackness? I'll tell you what, let's turn the wing lights on. Let's turn the logo lights on. Do we have wing lights? Where's the wing lights? Ooh, that's juice right there. See, do we land at night, or do we wind the time back from this pitch blackness? $111.7. All right, $111.9, 173. Okay, cool. So that's tuned in, and we'll do auto brakes minimum. I think that's all we need to do. I think we are set up for our approach. Wow, it is dark. It's a little dark outside. What time is it in real life? It's 4 o'clock. Okay. Adriano, yes, so that's the, we have the latest sound update. We have the latest sound update, which is definitely an improvement. Definitely an improvement, but it still needs a little work. It was 80 degrees earlier today and will likely snow Wednesday morning. Wow, nice. Yeah, the wing light looks good. I mean, the night lighting looks great. Looks really good there. Wow, 50-50 on the pole, huh? Literally 50-50 on the pole. You guys are savages. You guys suck. They finally added ground services, EFB, and weather radar. So we have ground service. I saw that's new. Is this new? I can't be used right now, but is this new then? Because I was using this earlier. I don't believe I've messed with the weather radar yet, but I don't think we've needed to. It's been pretty much mild weather everywhere we go. No glide slope, no loc, that's normal. It looks like we're not on active pause, are we now? But I'll tell you what we are going to do. We're going to increase our speed right now because we are... Let me go a little faster. Let's go 8.4. Yeah. Hit it. Continental 357, heavy maintain 8.4. Greater, please. Oh, that was already there? Oh, the 737. Oh, I know. We need to fly the 73. We should go back to the 73. Check it out. Yes. 737 weather radar. Yes, I got a big update. It's been a few days, all right? nothing to look at down there right now. We're supposed to be seeing all the juicy mountains right now. I tell you what, we'll land at night, but I want to see the juicy mountains. Okay, we'll land at night. We'll land at night. This is not a democracy. Look at that view, though. That is real life, y'all. The pink on the clouds and then the other clouds that are grayed out because of the sun angle and the clouds. It's just so cool. MSFS nerd, I know. I can't wait, man. It's going to be fun. Dreamosity, yeah. So apparently now that NG can do, there's no approach that that airplane can't do now, right? The People's Democratic Republic of V1, exactly. I have the Ursa airliner side stick, and the Fenix doesn't feel as realistic as the PMDG 7.3 with the TCA yoke. Hold on, they're asking me a lot of comprehension here. I have the Ursa airliner side stick, and the Fenix doesn't feel as realistic as the PMDG 7.3 with the TCA yoke. Ah, okay, yes. The TCA yoke is phenomenal, especially for 737. I mean, it's phenomenal for anything, man. The TCA Boeing yoke is really and truly a game changer, and because of that pendular motion. And I got to come back to this, though. It's not the pendular motion isn't what makes it so amazing is the fact that it's pendular. What makes it amazing is because it's a pendular system, you can make the finest control inputs right there around zero or neutral when you're flaring, when you're rotating. Whereas when you're push-pull, you go right through that. It's not accurate. That pendular motion allows you to make those fine inputs right around that center, that 0 point. That's what, to me, makes it incredible. Because this, even like this is a pendular yoke, but I wouldn't say you feel pendular motion. It's like it's still in and out comparatively because of how the yoke sits. And when you're sitting there, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not game-changing because it's pendular, although that is cool to mimic pendular, but what makes it game-changing is the fact that you have 100% control around that 0 point. So, but yeah, I think the TCA Boeing yoke, if you're not going force feedback, you got to go TCA Boeing yoke. There is nothing that can compare with that setup to replicate that 0 and those fine control inputs there in the middle. It's just great stuff. So the Ursa Minor, though, or the Ursa airliner, the Airbus one, I really think that's a great stick. It is for an entry-level side stick. It is fantastic. It is really, really good. Now it's got a little bit of a short throw, but I mean, for the price, it's better than anything else out there in that price point. Force feedback pendular, there isn't one yet. I do hope Moza makes one, like Team Vodka's saying. But here's the thing: I don't think a pendular force feedback is necessarily necessary because of what I was just saying about the fine control input. Because force feedback, you have 100% control of the input. You don't need that pendular motion to be that fine control around 0. So for me, like in this example, using the Brunner, which is push-pull with airliners, it still feels extremely more realistic than the TCA Boeing yoke, which is pendular, because now I can have not only fine control movement around 0, I can have the actual loads of the airplane being imported onto my yoke, and I can feel the differences in trim and in speed and in G loading, and that makes all the difference, especially trim. Being in trim and being out of trim with a force feedback yoke is a completely different ball game. You can feel the airplane when you're on approach, and this is where you really can see the flight models where they really shine. Now, it makes it, like I said, it makes almost anything fly good, but airplanes that have exceptional flight models, you can feel when the airplane is in the notch, so to speak. So when I'm flying the 727 with the force feedback yoke, I can feel when I go flaps 40 if I'm in trim or not, and I can immediately tell if I need to adjust it, or I can immediately tell if I'm fast or if I'm slow according to my trimmed position, because I can feel that on the yoke. Once I get it dialed in, I pretty much let go, and the airplane is going to stay where it's at because you're trimming for a speed, right? So having that control loading is such a game changer. It's not needed for the yoke to be pendular. Now, that would be cool. Like Team Vodka said, I think it would be cool to have a pendular force feedback system, but it's not needed. I would 100% take force feedback in a push-pull over a non-force feedback pendular motion. All right, will this automatically go now? Let's see, profile to 11,000. Let's see if we start down here on this descent. Well, if I had a yoke to attach to the Moza base, it would be pendular. And that's a good point, you know? I never thought about that. I don't know how you would, logistically, how would you attach a yoke to the base of the Moza? How would you do roll? Like, you wouldn't be able to do roll, Team Vodka, right? I don't know. It'd be interesting. Maybe they could mod it. Is a Flight Factor A320 worth it in 24? I have not touched the Flight Factor A320 in a very long time. I'm the wrong person to ask. But if you have Microsoft Flight Sim, you got to get the Fenix. The Fenix is the closest representation to Airbus style simulating that you can get on desktop platform. The Fenix is, it's, in my opinion, it's the GOAT for a reason. I mean, the depth of system stimulation, the failures that you can do. The only thing X-Plane has over the Fenix is the state saving. Like the Tolis has the ISCS, where you set up a failure state and you can repetition do V1 cuts, repetition RTOs. Makes it a little bit more challenging with Fenix and Microsoft Flight Sim. But that aside, Fenix hands down, man. It is the closest thing we've got to representing the Airbus. And yeah, don't even get me started on the sounds. Great sounds. You could invert the side-to-side roll with an... Yeah, you would need an adapter. Odd the TFDI is wrong for descent. It's supposed to announce a few seconds before you're about to descend and then reduce thrust, but in TFDI it just pushes over aggressively. Really, Thomas Ray? See, these are all reasons why I need to get my rotate MD11 on, I guess. All right, here we go. Put the charts back up here. I'm going to keep the approach page up because that's what we're really going to need. And I already missed my mountains. See a little bit of them down there. I'm getting the itch for some Aspen, some Telluride, maybe some Duke or some King Air vodka. What do you think, man? I'm kind of getting the itch to do some flying around these mountains again. Tim K, thanks for the 18-month support. My FS projects shipped today. Moza base won't be lonely for much longer. Very cool, Tim K. Very cool. Ooh, Learjet. We have a King Air update and Learjet, though. All right, I got some updating to do. Wait, you guys never answered the question. What happened to? Did you guys land in Brazil already? Tim K, you're gonna be excited, man. I'm happy for you. You're gonna love it. What, did you smash it down? What was your landing rate? Speaking of, let me get G's loaded. Let me see if I can outdo. What was full flaps landing rate? You landed by the time I got off the gate? Really? A 189? BS. 289. It was a 289. Let me get G's over. Alright, you should be able to see G's. There we go. Vodka was a 226. 40-minute flight? Oh, short flight. I didn't know it was that short. Alright, we're out of 28K down to 11,000. Denver traffic Continental 357 heavy out of 27 descending via the Ski 3 arrival. We're setting up for the ILS 16 right Denver traffic. And I will switch over to the CTAF here once we get below about 18,000 feet. Juice the sounds up even more. Like, are the sim sounds too loud for y'all? They're not very loud for me. I keep turning them up, but I don't want to blast y'all out. What about the Duke Fun in the Swiss Alps? They look awesome in the latest world update. Ooh, we haven't done any Swiss Alps flying. Let me also get flight recorder ready so we can watch the crashing in real time. Flight recorder. Alright, flight recorder's ready. G's is up and running. Cameras are up and running. Blackbird controls 727. 3-holder levers are ready to go. Let's do this. Oh, I gotta get the ruler up and ready. I'm gonna have to reconnect that because the ruler doesn't like to fly with the MD-11. Got that ready to connect. Hornet through the Swiss Alps. Ooh. We need to get another interception, PC-12 intercepted flight. Cap for the Swiss Air Force. How much time do we have left in flight? MSFS Nerd, we are on our descent, man. Probably about 15 minutes. Landing a CYYC to CYKA in the Duke. I really am excited for GA in 24. After seeing all the up close and personal juice of 2024 for GA flying, I saw the I had someone Wingnut had someone take some screenshots of Kern Valley, and I swear you could see the trout swimming in the river, dude. The Kern Valley in 24 makes me not want to fly it in 2020. So I'm really excited about GA stuff in 24. Am I watching the Giants game tonight? Probably, because I don't want to watch the Steelers and Giants. I will probably, I guess there's World Series has started, right? I only watch the World Series. I only watch baseball in November. And I guess we're close enough to the Game 7, so I guess I'll watch. Will put me to bed. Probably play some Candyland. Teaching my kids how to lose is difficult with Candyland because it's not like you can practice to get better. But can only be one winner at Candyland, and I'm undefeated. I hope the Aerostar appears from A2A. Aerostar would be pretty cool to have. Maybe an ayahuasca trip. We worked in Peru. Yeah, I've got the landing lights on out of 18, or out of wherever we are. I just turned them on because it was too dark. There's an aggressive pitch over right there. We'll go ahead and turn our seatbelts on though. Man, it's so quiet. I guess we are at idle. Denver at night, what could go wrong? Any flights to San Juan? Ooh. Nothing planned. I'll bring the juice. Teach your kids how to lose with them boys and the jets. Well, see, I'm prepping them with Candyland first. Prepping them with Candyland first. All right, here comes our STD transition. 29er 59er is set. Let's do an FMS. Whoa. Let's go ahead and slow down there. Scrolling 250K knots. 240's fine. Pull it again. 240 selected. Thrust is coming back. That was interesting. We had power in on that descent. That's interesting. I'm not sure if that's legit. Southwest Max into Baltimore. I just left Baltimore, man. Let's see, I was in Boston, I was in Baltimore, I was in LA. Tell you what, Boston felt nice. It was like a cool 50 degrees. Got to walk around downtown for a little bit. I went to this really good bakery. I can't remember what it was called. I'll have to look it up, but man, I got an eclair and Really, really good cappuccino. I was thoroughly impressed. Do you have any experience with the Virpil Kickstarter going on right now? Their lineup for yokes. Cody, I've seen those yokes and they look good, but if they're not force feedback, unfortunately, I'm spoiled now. I've been broken by the force feedback situation, and I'm just not. I'm not too interested in getting more spring yokes, but I like what they're doing with the interchangeable yoke system and having an Embraer style yoke for the first time. I think that's the first time we've seen that, right? So I think they look good, and knowing Virpil, they're going to be pretty sweet. But I'm not interested in non-force feedback stuff. I think force feedback is the future, and that's where I'm going to be investing. Yeah, if they were force feedback, Cody, I'd be all over it, man. I'd stow the speed brake there. All right, 15 for 11. Let's take a look here. If we transition over, mandatory at 10 for shred, but we're not going all the way out to shred, hopefully. We'll come in. Maybe we'll take it in off of shred. Let's go ahead and set 10,000 feet. I hate the mouse wheel scroll manipulator here. Just pull for a hard 10 idle clamp down to 10,000 feet. 240 on the speed. Let's switch over to Unicom. Denver traffic, Continental 357 heavy out of 15,000. We're setting up for right downwind, 16 right, Denver traffic. Wow, look at that. That's what's cool. So now that we're over downtown Denver, it's actually the light pollution illuminates our airplane. That is so cool. We are so spoiled as simmers, man. This is wild, awesome. Can state by the real manuals MD-11 that power on descent is accurate if to maintain a set speed, otherwise it should be idle. Okay. Likes to be fast and doesn't want to slow down. Very interesting. Thomas Reyes, our resident MD-11 expert. I'd sell my car before I sold my Virpil CM3 base.
Turning
another yoke is another
right
yoke.
base runway 16 left.
Yeah, I've got the CM3 as well.
Inbound ILS levelizer, Denver.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they're not Pendular 737 Sim Pilot. I'm actually kind of surprised that they're not. I don't know if Thrustmaster owns a patent on that or something. But yeah, if you're going to get any spring-style yoke, get the Thrustmaster. It just, in my opinion, it would be I wouldn't say a waste of money, but you're going to get way more out of the Thrustmaster pendular system than you will with anything else that's push-pull spring. It's that much of a difference. Now, what would be cool is if Thrustmaster, even though they're doing the spring game, I'm surprised they haven't got force feedback, but if they could find a way to change their yoke out on that pendular spring, I think that would sell too. All right, let's go and get the rest of our lights on. I got to scroll up to move these lights forward. Logo, beacon, that's all on. All right, cool. High emits are on. All right, all the lights, baby. Oh, all right. See, I want so badly to love three-holers. I love MD-11s. Now, we got the black hole approach coming at us right here. This is where we got to be careful on this. Thrustmaster does force feedback in sim racing. Yes. That's why I was surprised that they had no like force feedback talks or mentions, at least that I saw from the last expo. Maybe next year it'll be different. We'll see. See some nav lights down there. Hey, take it easy, MSFS nerd. Pat says, I love my Thrustmaster, but got to keep a push-pull to the side. I've RMA'd 4 Thrustmaster yokes already.
Southwest 36.3, turning final runway 16 left approach, Denver.
All right, so that's him. Denver traffic, Continental 357 heavy, right down 116, so right. We got the traffic turning final inside. We're sliding behind you. All right, so that's him. He's turning final. Let's go ahead and reduced to 180 knots.
And Denver traffic transfer system 15 is back clear of runway 17
Actually,
right.
let's do 200 on the speed.
Parking
We're already at
Let's call Denver.
slat extension, so 200. Let's go ahead and pop those slats out. I do like the slats on the MD-11. And we will go to 15, which is our, what's it called? Dial-a-flap. Selected 15. Alright, we can cut the corner here. And if we take it in off of Newlands at 9, let's go ahead and drop down another thou.
Altitude.
1,000 to go. We'll keep going here, and we will go direct to, what's that called? That's Marin at 8. We'll do Newland. Give me some time to configure here. Slat extension on MD products is Mach 1. Now, is that realistic, Thomas Ray? Is that slat extension accurate and the speed of that extended? They do come out pretty quick on this.
Denver traffic Cessna 36.3 short final runway 16.
Mr. Saturday, I love flaps 50 on the MD-11, but since we got to try to actually get a greaser, we're going to go flaps 30 on this one. Or should we go flaps 50? Let's go back to 180. I feel like the manipulators are too small on this as well. Like, it really got to be in the zone.
Denver traffic, Lufthansa 2055, super lining up runway 17 left.
All right, let's go ahead and send us over. We'll just go direct. Newland. Execute in the turn. Denver traffic, Continental 357 heavy, turning right to base, runway 16 right. Denver traffic. The fake leather looks fake to you? You're talking about like this part up here, the faux leather? Who, me? Lauren? What microphone?
Denver traffic, Lufthansa 2055, super, taking off runway 17 left, Denver traffic.
We got a super taking off 17 left. Uh-oh. Alright, let's go ahead and get recording on. Right about... Oh, yeah. Now, so I don't forget. Recording is on. I'm not going to connect my yoke just yet because it will disconnect everything. Let's go ahead and arm the approach. So we have land armed. Now, last time I did this, she did not want to capture the glide slope. We're at 9,000, 2959, 180 on the speed.
Runway 16 left.
I'm ready to take over. I feel like you should see... Let's get this. I like this page. I feel like I should see land armed. There's no like glide slope loc arm though. Glide slope's coming down pretty quick. staying inside here on our instruments, make sure everything pans out. There's low
Denver
glide
traffic,
slope.
United
Beautiful.
1315, lining up and taking off of runway 17 left.
All right, let's
Denver
go ahead and
traffic.
connect the yoke. Let's go ahead and disconnect the autopilot. Jeez, I don't know what that was all about. She wants to go the other way. Let's go ahead and start slowing all the way up. What was our ref? The app is 156. I'm going to turn the flight director off because I don't know what that's doing. Blew right through that localizer. Flaps 28, gears coming down. Should have done it opposite, I think. I think it's gonna yell at me. Auto throttle off. I have control of the thrust levers. Flaps 35. Denver traffic, Continental 357 heavy on final 16 right. Alright, so we are 156. Flaps are 30. Gear is down to land, clear to land, auto brakes minimum. Alright, get her slotted in here. 156 is what we're looking for. Should we sidestep so it's a shorter taxi to 16 left? Kind of want to sidestep.
2500.
But then our glide slope will go bananas, and I don't know how to change all that on the fly. I'm sure we could figure it out. A little bit high, correcting. Pretty calm winds. I will say, Blackbird, my precision thrust control is so much better with these long levers, man. Absolutely love the Blackbird levers. I did not arm the spoilers. Did now. Thank you. I think that's that super taking off over there on the left side. The crosswind kicked in there.
$1,000.
1,000 feet, stable-ish, clear to land, getting a little bit high, correcting. Talk about black hole effect. Goodness.
500.
I will take the pappies all the way in now.
Approaching minimum.
Ooh.
Minimum 200.
Oh, this airplane sucks. Spoilers. Reverse. Decel. I cannot get a smooth landing in this airplane. I heard that 50, 40, 30. I even chicken flared it too. I even chicken flared it and we still hit a 240. What was it? A 320. Well, hey, that makes sense. A 320. My word. I think it might be G's. I think G's is lying to us. Maybe. Alright, let's go ahead and slow it down. And I can't land an MD-11 to the list. Yeah, this thing, dude. This thing is wild. I tried to avoid the float because I know y'all would start yelling at me. To be fair, I've never landed flaps 30 before. I've only done 50 landings, so there's that. We'll stow it, clean it up. Auto brakes are coming off. Let's taxi to the gate. We'll leave all our lights on as we cross. It's very hard to butter an MD-11. Well, that is true. I did turn the recorder on. I do have her saved up, ready to go. We've got recorder ready. Was G's lying an excuse? I'm sure that was one of the first excuses we've got. Yeah, G's is always lying. It's the sign that I should have alt F4 and flown to 320 this stream? Probably. I heard there's a great landing rate plugin called New Sky. Really? What does New Sky do? I might look into it. If Jeff is telling me I need to use New Sky, then we're going to have to look at New Sky. Denver traffic, Continental 357 crossing, runway 16 left, Denver traffic. Alright, clear. Oh, we're not really crossing the runway, we're really crossing the approach departure end. But we're clear. Nobody should be landing the other way, right? Nobody's landing the other way, we're crossing clear. New Sky is in 8 cars for virtual airliners, really? Weakness says we need to standardize for the competition. I thought New Sky, yeah, is New Sky a virtual airline thing? We should have a virtual bourbon wings. You know what? Maybe we should. Is that something? Would you be interested in that? We should just start up a virtual bourbon wings, bourbon air, because bourbon air actually used to be a real thing. So we could kind of just revive bourbon air. IKOBBN. The whole career mode add-on has incredible landing rate plugin. Really? Well, Jeff, I'm going to look into it, man. I'm going to look into it just out of pure curiosity for nothing else. I'm curious to see how it works. All right, we're clear of all active runways. In real life, we would turn off all external lights except the taxi light nav right now, but we're going to keep them rolling because we're going to go right to the replay. And let's just go ahead and head over to the terminal right here and park. Why not Hooters there? Vodka's going to make
Denver traffic, United 1315, leaving Denver airspace, switching over to Unicom, Denver traffic.
Soup! Alright, we will take Bravo 7. Everyone model matches to only 3+ engines for bourbon. That's a great idea, Lauren. Just do 3 engine only for model matching. Oh, look at the person in the window. Okay, that's cool. That's kind of cool. I can't even see myself here as we taxi in. Gotta straighten her out just a little bit. Close enough for government work. Oh, erp. Oh no, I can't erp it. Erp. Brakes are set. Let's go ahead and watch this replay. Alright, we're going to disconnect from Iveo Premium. Broken airport scenery unsub. Yep. Let's go ahead and watch this in low light conditions so it's not completely ugly because it is Denver. I thought I vowed that I was not flying back here ever again. Let's go right to replay cam, throw you up full screen, throw this on. Oof. Get the flaps out, the slats out, let's run it forward. Meow. I did, but here I am. I know, Ryan. I said I was never going to fly in here again because I don't like this airport at all. It's so mid. I mean, look at that. And the problem is that that's not really unrepresentative of what it really looks like. I mean, Denver, flying into Denver is probably really, it's up there on the top 5 ugly list. Other than coming in over the Rockies, flying into Denver, top 5 ugly list in the USA. Just flat, high altitude, hot brakes, and long edict times when everyone's de-icing. Mid-plane, mid-airport. Yeah, it doesn't get much more mid than that. We need to fly in starting with Hooters Air, followed by Bourbon Air, followed by Air Taxi, then Air Hangover for early departure. I do think the wing flex looks good, Reaper. I think you're right there. I think that wing flex does look good. But, I mean, the sound is... Yeah, you can float it for days. That's true. Unless you're in a heavy 321. You'll be smoking the brakes, man. All right, let's go ahead and see how we did here. I can't even hear the engines. I mean, I guess this is the sound update, but it definitely needs, I think it still needs some tweaking. Denver loves you, V1. Well, it's not going both ways. I do not love Denver. Look how mid that is. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that scenery. And that's what it looks like. Why do people live here? All right. Where's Tyson at? Isn't Tyson in Denver? Oh no, that's, I can't remember. All right, here we go. I didn't want to float her out. See, normally I think I was late with the power reduction too. Oh, that said 272. I mean, that didn't, that wasn't a 320, was it? So here's one thing that I will say I think is probably accurate representation. I've only ever landed this airplane at flaps 50, and when you land this airplane at flaps 50, if you bring the power out, you will crash it. Like, it just comes straight down. So I was used to leaving the power in, and I feel like at flaps 35, you don't really need to leave it in. You can work it out to idle a little bit sooner than flaps 50. So that's a testament to the flight model. That seems accurate. But I'm not too upset with that. I actually take it. I'll take that landing. Shoot, for my first ever flaps 35 landing, I'll take it. No tire smoke. If I leave them in reverse, maybe they'll play for the next one. Let's do a flyover. So where did we touch down? Right about here. So let's go back here, reset you. Now I know Fabiano wrote like a super complex physics, astrophysics solution to flyby cam, but I still haven't comprehended it yet. Let's see here. The wheel noise is super loud. I mean, 100% centerline and on the markers. Don't need anything more. Hey, Jeff, I appreciate that. See? Jeff thinks it was a good landing, and he's got more subs than all of you combined, so I think it's a great landing. You guys are awesome. We'll get sail going. Reading is difficult. I was elected to lead, not to read. Oh, yeah. Come on. Dirt. That was a 220 on the G's. I'll take that. I'm happy with it. All right, y'all. Is the thrust reverser still sounding like a fighter jet? No, they definitely fixed that, Benny. They fixed that. But what was the title of the stream? Something or flop? Great or flop? Flop to not. In my opinion, and remember, opinions are like buttholes. Everyone's got one. They all stink. I still can't say that I 100% am in love with this bird. And I want to love it. I'm going to keep giving it a chance. Maybe after the next update, we'll see some more progress with this airplane. It's a step in the right direction, and there's no half steps backwards on this little patch sound update. So at least we're trending in the right direction. Frame rate will cause FPS to vary. The G loading is absolute. Oh, really? Interesting, Team Vodka. That makes sense, though. We'll get this airplane bake a little bit more. We'll see if it gets another update here as we go into 24, and hopefully it'll be even better. Because I really want to love this three-holer. I really, really do. But that's gonna wrap it up, guys. Thank you all for hanging out with me this evening. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Monday. I guess go Dodgers, because we don't want the Yankees to win, because Bill's Mafia is a Yankees fan, so we don't want that to happen. So go Dodgers. You guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for all the likes. Stay safe. Stay healthy. I'm V1. See you.